Yeah, I just prompted it and it started.
So
Done.
yeah,
Continue.
Hassan, can we move to the next slide, please?
Okay.
So yeah, on the agenda side, we have introduction, why we want to test testing beyond functional requirements, usability testing, security testing, and accessibility testing. So usability testing makes it more application user friendly, and security testing ensures how our system is well and how it's going to behave in a system safety. Accessibility testing ensures the safety, basically how easy the application is to access for the people with different disabilities. So tools, best practices, and real-world case studies. We are going to discuss conclusion, key takeaways, and resources that are going to be discussed at the end of this slide. So from the introduction side, we have two types of testing, basically functional and non-functional. So as the topic suggests, testing beyond functional requirements. So we are going to discuss the non-functional requirements, qualities like system performance, how the system is going to behave under circumstances, usability, security, and accessibility of the system. It only not ensures how system is going to behave, it how it works, but how it works well. Why testing non-functional requirements? It enhances the user experience, build trust in the application from the end user perspective as well, ensure compliance and standards of with different industries, there are multiple things that we need to compliance on the applications. So we will discuss first usability testing. On the usability testing side, we have how easy the application is for the use. So usability testing is basically how system observation involves system observation under controlled conditions to determine how well people can use their product. It has different goals, improve user satisfaction. So in increase user satisfaction means basically usability testing helps to gauge user satisfaction and gather feedback on various aspects of the product. uh, on the other side, minimize user error, so there is minimal error rate, and to reduce learning curves for the end user. When to perform, basically it is the prototype side, when the application is the prototype and we need to perform usability testing at that end as well, and on the before the production release. So before going on to the live production environment, we need to perform it on multiple test instances, basically internal tests. You can say that on the when we have test build or we have test release, we can perform the usability testing on that. Key metrics are basically the how application is performing, the success rate of the application. So the error rate we are getting from the that, and error frequency, and time to perform a specific task. Basically, let's assume we are logging onto some application or we are performing check in check out on an application. So how much time it is going to take for the end user to perform check in and check out and to log in on that application. So there are four things that involve the process of usability testing. First one is planning, second recruitment, test execution, analysis, and reporting. So planning basically target what are our targeted audience, how the people we are targeting for the application and users. Select task for testing. So basically the task that we need to test out, basically the end user that are going to use the application behavior, how well it is going to perform for specific users. Recruitment, identify representative user like the banking app, the end user for the banking app using like for the e-commerce website. We have multiple kinds of user, end user for the you can say other website, food ordering website, multiple online food order. So test execution, observe user interaction with the application, how basically user are interacting with the application, how they are going to use the application. Is it easy for them to use or it is making difficult for them to use? We collect feedback from multiple users and then we highlight usability issues from the collective feedback of the users. And then the recommended actions are provided to the development teams to resolve those issues. Next. So the tools for use for usability testing are on the prototyping wireframing side. We have Figma that we are using in our Excel as well, and Adobe XD. Prototype testing, we have tools like InVision and Xeo. For the recording sessions, like we need to record some sessions on the application while using the applications. So we can use Hotjar, Lookback. We have multiple other Snagit as well. We can use that for as well. So there was a case study about the e-commerce app redesign. So the target audience and objectives. So there was a high cart abundant
Blali, your connection has dropped.
basically when the user was checking out multiple products on the website, so the usability revealed the checkout patterns as having issues. So demographic users tested with users aged between 25 to 45 and target customers. Method used was alpha beta testing. So what is alpha beta testing? Alpha beta testing involves basically two types of thing, also known as split testing or bucket testing. It is a methodology for comparing two versions of a web page or app against each other to determine which one performs better. It works by showing two variants of a page to user interaction at random using statistical analysis to determine which variation achieves better results for your conversion goals. On the other hand, we have accessibility testing. So over to you, Hassan.
Okay, so when we talk about accessibility testing, we ensure that applications are usable for individuals with disabilities. And the key areas that we focus on are visual impairments, hearing impairments, motor disabilities, and cognitive challenges. The standards basically that this accessibility testing is based on is WCAG, Web Content Accessibility Guideline website that basically underlines all the guidelines that are provided for users with disability. And then there's a section 508 of the US government standard that underlines that every software or website out there has to be up to standards for these you can say key areas, right? So the tools, sorry. So for the screen reader testing, we have tools just such as NVIDIA and JAWS. We have keyboard navigation that test all functionalities without a mouse, and then we have color contrast analysis that for which the tools are contrast checker and AXE, and focus order testing basically ensure logical navigation, right? When we move on to accessibility testing process, we identify planning as accessibility requirements when you are, taking our requirements for any project, and then the implementation where you add accessible, rich internet application roles, and then there is the testing where you can use tools and manual validation to make sure that the implemented accessibility features are working as intended. And then moving on to reporting, we can highlight barriers and provide inclusive design recommendations. Right. As a real world accessibility example can be a government services portal. The issue of it might be a non-compliance with accessibility standards, such as you visit Nadra and the let's say a person in a wheelchair has much less access to the services that their portal gives. Then we can add a solution for that can be a screen reader support and a keyboard navigation. The outcome of this solution will be increased engagement by 40% among differently able users. All right, what do you, Bilal?
So yeah, on the security testing side, we would have four key areas: planning, definition, importance, and common threats. So definitely define objectives and target audience who are going to use the application, and the how we are going to protect this from the malwares like hackings or attacks from the other people that are going to hack the websites. Identify vulnerabilities, ensuring data protection on the security testing is importance. So it protects sensitive information, prevents financial losses like the banking app we are currently using. So we might lose our assets from the banking app. Build user trust and common threats of SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and unauthorized access. So types of security testing, we have multiple types of security testing: penetration testing, simulate real-world attacks, tools, Metasploit, and Burp Suite. These are the tools that are being used for penetration testing. We can get into the real-world attack, and we can check whether oversight has been. We can simulate that if oversight is working over the. We can protect oversight from the multiple types of attack or not. Vulnerability scanning, automated identification of weaknesses, tools, NSS, OpenWAS, and risk assessment, evaluate potential impact of threats, security auditing, review code configurations and practices. So the process of security testing is basically consists of four steps: requirement analysis, threat modeling, test execution, and reporting. So requirement analysis is basically understanding security standards, how would our application is compliance with the security standards or not. Threat modeling, identifying possible attacks, vectors, and using automated and manual techniques for test execution. Categorize vulnerabilities, recommend mitigations, and it's kind of reporting. So basically, the example here is given is also of the banking app issue weak password storage mechanism. So we can use multiple passwords like special characters involving special characters, alphanumeric characters in the passwords. Solution implemented encryption and penetration testing. Outcome: no breaches supported post fix. So for the best practices, usability testing early and often involve your real users. For the security testing, we follow OSAP guidelines, conduct regular audits, and for the accessibility testing, we have designed with inclusivity in mind, test on diverse devices and tools. For best practices, we can use multiple devices, multiple platforms for the all these kinds of testing. So yeah, over to you, Hassan.
Right. For the conclusion of this session, basically non-functional testing ensures software quality beyond basic functionality. A little bit more on this point is that when you build a software, we mostly focus on the functional requirements of the test of the application itself, whether the requirements of the user are being properly implemented in the final version of it. But we often miss on the non-functional testing, which basically make sure that not only that you are focusing on the user and their requirements, but you are focusing on a entirely broader plane, so that scenarios as such that we have explained in previous slides do not occur or have a lesser percentage of occurring. Right. So it enhances user satisfaction, trust, and inclusivity. Obviously, when you see a person with a disability, you're using an application that you developed, and they see that they have the right means and tools to use that application just as any normal person would. The satisfaction of that person and the trust of that person would eventually make a greater impact of your on your like the audience of your application, basically. And investing in these tests, the tests that we discussed about, prevents long-term risk and builds a robust reputation. Again, when you include all of these testings into your application, you develop this entire line of good reviews and a good thought process, that whenever a user or any other person talks about your application, they have this pride in that application, that see that application have basically I forgot the word, but basically caters to a wider audience of users than just the targeted ones, right? So I think that is about it. Any question or answer from you guys? The page is open. Abdullah bhai?
Nothing from my side.
Okay. I think that's about it. If no one has any questions, that was the end of this TOI session. Thank you so much for you guys for attending, and I hope we all learned something today. And I hope to see you in the next TOI session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Allah
Take
Hafiz.
care. Love
Okay.
it.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.